Hello, sorry for that. Hello. Really sorry. Someone actually just shut down my internet and I refreshed the page. It We lost the link because of that. I'm really sorry for that. So let's continue. Yeah, let's continue. Yeah, yeah. We'll wait for yes. Yes, yes. Okay. So this was our screen for which we were working upon. Hello. Okay. Okay, please don't add it up here. I have requested even Arun sir not to add it here. Just for security purpose, I will share a link where you can add this up. Yeah, please don't add it in the chat. Anyhow, you have added most of you. Perfect. So okay, so let's continue now. And as we were discussing, uh, how do you maintain the versions of your current project you build? You have to create so many folders and so on. That is how you will add up your application in your application. Now, where you like, was I audible when I did this part earlier? Can you anyone help me out with that? What if you want to go back to a point in your application of your project? How can we? How do we do that? So consider you have got multiple stages which you want to hit into your application. So at that time, what you do is you can create multiple folders, or let's say you want to go 3 level or 4 level back. How will you do that? For reaching out a specific state. So in that particular point, if you want to go back to the application, like when it was in its application state, you cannot press Control Z and go back to the version you were there earlier. Now, what if you want to share your application with other developers? As we have discussed, that I want the application to be shared with other developers and make them a collaborator on your project. That's not going to happen. So that way, whenever you share your application with other developers or make them collaborator on your project, that is not something you can do without the framework which we are going to talk about. Now, how will you merge the changes if both of you have made changes to the same file in the project. Some things which is provided to us by the framework, will we be, yeah, will we be able to explore the scenarios? So if you see the framework I want to work with, yeah, the framework I want to work with, if it provides me version control, yeah, if it provides me version control, if it is and traceable, I can have backup and security, and I can do risk free changes. This is the place where here comes into our picture a framework called as Git. Git is a distributed version control system that helps track changes in files, especially in source codes. Yeah, and enables the collaboration among multiple developer working on a project. So this was 2005, yeah, and it was originally done to manage the development of Linux kernel. Now it was created by Linus Torvalds. Who is the same person who have created Linux. Yeah, the Linux, the person who have he was reason behind creating. Okay, so the framework they were working is something. Now can you check the video quality? It should be up now. I am connected back through the Wi-Fi. Is it up? Okay, perfect. So the framework what we are, is the screen visible now? Is the screen visible? Okay, so basically Git is a distributed version control system that will enable us to work on lot of things like version control, collaboration, backup security, risk-free changes, traceability, distributed systems. So here, how do you bring that? See, now this is a very important implementation. I would like you all to focus on this. This is how your Git works, and this is if you want to understand what exactly Git is. This diagram is the first thing that should come to your mind. Now consider we have a local machine. Yeah, we have a local machine. That local machine have your HTML, CSS, JavaScript file. Okay, the moment you install Git, the moment you install Git, you have got three different areas. One is your commit area. Now it is sort of doing the same thing for you, but in a very efficient way. So if you check, yeah, so if you check, you have got your local machine, the files are working here. We have got HTML file, we have got CSS file, we have got JavaScript file. Now you want to, let's say you have done working on the HTML file, you think this is a good point where I can make a commit. So what you will do at this point is you will make a commit to git add. Yeah, you will make a commit. How? By saying git add HTML. So you're saying, okay, I am not committing it, but I am okay to add this file into my staging area. So what will happen the moment you do that? This HTML file, this HTML file will now move from here, and it will land up in my staging area. Okay, this will land up in my staging area. After you are in the staging area, staging area is where you are okay that I want to add this file to the commit. Commit is what? Commit is like you're creating a breakpoint in your application. Okay, commit is like you're creating a breakpoint in your application. You say, I want to add my HTML file into staging area. After that, you say, okay, this is the commit I want to make. So you say git commit. So whatever is the latest file available in the staging area, that will be straight away moved into a commit, which is basically your top commit. So they have a version of your file now. So what are the two stages here? See, the first, what are the directories here? Three places. We have got working directory, we have got staging area, and we have got commit history area. Now, commit history area is what? Like you have a specific version. You added an index file, you added a JS, and you added a main. You if you know in GitHub or Git, one of the very common commit message is, you know what it is? It is called as initial commit. Yeah, it is called as initial commit. That is when you create your project and your project is as a boilerplate code. So when you are at your boilerplate code, what will happen? You say add. So all the files which are available will one by one move to first where? In your staging area. From your staging area, once you, so adding to the staging area is like you will add it temporarily there. Yeah, you can always take it back from there, but in the staging area you add it temporarily. Then what you do next is you will want to, let's say, pass on this file to commit history. So you want to make a commit. Making commit is what? You are taking a decision. This is a versioning of a file I want to make. So you do what? You take these files, you take these files first, commit to have, sorry, to add it into the staging area, you use the command is what? Git add. And when you want to make the commit, you say git commit. So when you add it into the git commit, a version of your file is created. Yeah, a version of your file is created. This is how the commits will look like. We have the top commit, and then you see the whenever we add a commit, the previous commit is not deleted. That commit is still there. They just keep on adding the commits into your application. Are you getting this point? How it works? The commit will, like, if you like, now let's say you made some new changes, so those new changes now will be added into your commit history. So the latest commit will become the previous commit. So let's say this was the first commit, second commit, third commit, and so on. Yeah. So is this diagram clear? Is this diagram, I will just keep this diagram open for a while. If you have any question, please ask. Yeah, here you can see what are the main parts here. We have got the working directory. Yeah, we have got the working directory, we have got the staging area, and we have got the commit history area. You write a file in your working directory first, put it into the staging area, and then put that file into the commit history. Once it is in the commit history, it is written forever in your machine, but for now it is in your machine. So what happens? This is how your commit history is created. The top commit history, the commit history will go to the top. Yeah, the commit history, like they'll keep on updating. So the first one here is also called, you know what it is called as? It is also called as a head commit. Yeah, this is also called as head commit. Yeah. So this, the first one, which is the very much first in your application, is also known as the head commit. So this is a very important diagram. Whenever you want to talk about Git, this is first thing that should be coming to your mind. Working directory, staging area, commit history area. Perfect. Now, how do you install the Git on your machine? Yeah, how do you install Git on your machine? So there is a website called as gitscm.com. I will put it in the chat window. I have put that in the chat window. Yeah, you can click on that and download. If you're working on Windows and you want to follow along with me, I would recommend that you download this. I will give you 5 minutes for that quickly. Download and install. It is just next installation. So if you want to quickly just get it completed, yeah, are you willing to work along with me? Like, want to follow along on the steps what we are going to do for Git? Yeah, let's make it fun. So that way, what you can do is just take the URL, just go to the URL, click on download for Windows. Yeah, let's follow along. Perfect. Yeah, so I have added the link here. You have to just download this, download for Windows or whatever operating system you're working upon. I'm considering most of you are on Windows. Yeah, I'm considering most of you are on Windows. Okay, so you will have to just download it from here, and it's a simple next installation. Yeah, it's a simple next installation. At the same time, I also want to give you a project here. Let me do that for you. Okay, as you are doing this, I will also give you one more thing. I have created a simple project. I will also give this project file to you, so that we can quickly just add up this file. This is the project, this is the file we can create and work along with. Ideally, I should have been sharing this with Git, but from today onward, today's last time we are using WeTransfer. Going ahead, whenever we do the sessions, I will be using Git, because by the end of the session, you will be very much comfortable with this. So I have added the link for the project as well. You can just keep it downloaded. Yeah, you can just keep this link down, like this project.zip downloaded. That way you will not have any problem sharing this. Yeah, like we can, you will also have the files which I want. Yes. So Tanmay, yeah, 64-bit git for windows setup, is that is what you want. After you have installed it, have you installed, have you all installed? Can I get a quick confirmation in the chat box? It's a very small software. Okay, once you have installed, next we have to do certain configurations. Yeah, we have to do certain level of configurations. What are those configurations here? See, whenever you are on Git, you have to set your username, you have to set your email, then you have got multiple settings. Now what I want you to do is start your command prompt from anywhere right now. Start your command prompt. Yeah, and fire the command git config hyphen hyphen list. Git config hyphen hyphen list. Git config hyphen hyphen list. So okay, what I'll do is whatever commands I am typing, I will just share this here on this link. So what is the first command we are trying to connect with? That is git config hyphen hyphen list. Okay, we have got git config hyphen hyphen list. What do you find? What do you find here? Are you getting an output like this? Are you getting an output like this after you fire git config hyphen hyphen list? You have got multiple settings here. You have got multiple settings, and you see main are two of the settings. One is this. What are the two compulsory settings here? See, there are multiple configurations which are there. First one is what? The username. Second one is email. Until unless you do not set up these two configurations, your application will never work. Your Git will always, your nothing will happen. So username and email are there. Then what type of default editor you want? What is the merge tool? These are, what is the diff tool? Diffing is like, how do you find the differences? So at that point, you know what I will do? I will basically explore this as and when I go ahead. So how do I set my tools now? So for that reason, first the command what you will fire is git config hyphen global. Okay, hyphen global user dot name, and then after a space you pass like your name. Please make sure you pass this name properly, because the same name will then go into your final project, yeah, in your GitHub as well. So first thing, you set that up. Second, what you are doing is git config hyphen global user dot email, and here I am setting my official email is zartav@codewithz.com. Okay, so you will set up your Gmail ID or whatever ID you want. Okay, so what are the two commands? First command is git config, and second one is your email. Second one is your email. So you will have to replace your email accordingly here. Yeah, you'll have to replace your email accordingly here. So there are two settings which we need to do. Okay, after you have done this setting, what you need to do is just go back, check. What will you check? Git config hyphen list. Once you check the list, you should be able to find your username and your email. Is that happening? After you have set it this up? After you have set this up, is that happening? Okay, that is my step one for now. That is perfect. So we have set up Git, we have set up the user, and we have also, now if you want to do some sort of editing here, see, that is also available there. How do you find, in case if you want to make the changes? See, I will also show you where do you find this files. So you can, in your Windows machine, if you go to users, okay, if you go to your C drive, users, whatever machine you are on, there will be a file called as git config. Yeah, there will be a file called as .git config. So if you open this with VS Code or any editor, see, you will be able to find what are the settings they have done for you. Yeah, what are the settings they have done for you? So how will you find this? If you want to make the changes directly through editor, this is what also you can do here. So you have got C user, whatever is your username, and then we have got this .git config file. Okay, this is the location where we are completed. So are we clear till this point? Have you all been able to follow along and get this part done? Yep, can we proceed? Okay, so now what will you do is go back to the project I have given. You are getting an error of not in the file directory. So Harkirat, when you are trying to do git config, is that is when you are getting that error? When you try to do git config, that is the point where you are getting an error. Okay. Okay, so now what I would like you to do is there is a zip folder I have given you, right? There is a zip folder. You all have received that link, right? If you want, I can add that link again. This is the vTransfer link where I have given you the project. Yeah, this is the link where I have given you the project. So can you have you downloaded that project.zip file? Have you downloaded that project.zip file? Anyone? All of you have downloaded? So yeah, once you download, extract it. This is the project we are working on. And if you click on index.html, yeah, if you click on index.html, what will happen? It will open your output like this. Yeah, this will open your output like this. We have got a simple website. If you click on learn more, it is giving me a pop-up, and this is the CSS, and I have HTML. So if you look at the structure of my project, yeah, if you look at the structure of my project, you will find I have got one index.html, I have got one main.js, I have got style.css, I have got one style.css. Okay. Yeah, we have got style.css here. So if you see here, yeah, able to execute this, able to execute this. Okay, simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Because see, this is not a tech workshop, right? We are going to understand how do we start with a simple Git application project. So here, is this project with GitHub right now? Is this project, sorry, is this project like version controlled right now? Not at all. What is that I will have to do is I will have to right click here. Yeah, right click, and you see we have got an option of, are you getting this option of open git bash here? You see we are getting an option called as open git bash here. Yes, please click on that, because we need to open that git bash. See, you can also do it with normal command prompt. There is no problem at all. But in context of like making sure that we don't mess up with the file locations and everything, if you know how to start a command prompt here straight away, that is fine. So what will you do? You will right click and you will go and say open git bash here. Yeah, open git bash here, and let us do the first command is, what is that we do is git init space a period symbol. Yeah, whatever project you want to start with, what will you do here is git init space dot symbol. That is what you will do. So I will just increase my font a bit. Okay, so you say git init dot, yeah, you say git whatever directory you want to make your application working in, you will say git. Oh, someone deleted, please don't delete anything here. Okay, please don't delete, because I was planning to give you this sheet as your final output, right? So we had other settings here. Copy paste it from there, don't delete it please. So what we did is here and also here. Okay, and as a safe side, I will keep all this on a notepad, so in case if someone deletes it again, I can do it later. Okay, so how will you do that here? You say git init, yeah, and you should be getting an output as initialized an empty git repository here. Yeah, we initialized an empty git repository here. So if you do now ls, now remember one thing, whenever you start the git bash, what is one different to you, what is one difference that you see here, apart from your regular windows command prompt? Can anyone answer that? If you look at this git bash, what is the difference do you find here? Your regular command prompt and this are different, right? But that is quite evident. That is quite evident. But can you tell me another difference here? You had no, that is also fine, Daniel. But do you think you have done Linux? Have you been ever worked? Have you ever worked with Linux? Yeah, the path is already set to the project path. That is also fine. But have you ever worked with Linux? Okay. See, in Linux we have got root. Like how do they write their values? They have username at server, right? Yeah, username at server. Then if you see the root directory there is always given by slash. So you have got the root directory, and then we use the dollar sign there. So if I do dir enter, and if I do here ls, see, so both of them are working. That will not work in your regular application. Yeah, that will not work in your regular application. But if I say I also want to show the hidden files, I say ls hyphen a. See, if I say ls hyphen a in my git bash, it is showing me, it is showing me what? Please don't delete the files from here. If someone is constantly deleting, like, don't do copy, do copy paste, don't do cut paste here, please. Yeah, don't do cut paste here, please. So after you do git init, and if you do ls hyphen a, what will happen? Yeah, what will happen at this point is it will create the git repo. And are you able to see this dot git file, dot git directory here? It's a hidden file. So if your hidden files are not shown, you can just go and enable the hiddens from here. Yeah, you can just enable the hidden from here, from the view part. But once you do that, or even on your git bash, you will be able to see the dot git directory. The dot git directory is nothing but, yeah, the dot git directory is nothing but your actual, like, if this directory is available, then your current directory becomes a git repo. Understanding this? If your dot git directory is available, your project becomes a git repo. Okay, so if let's say you want to get rid of git at all, you can just go delete this will be gone, nothing will be remaining, because this is the directory which actually contains all your reference point, all your configs, everything will be added here. See, this is my head tags and so on. So now what we need to do next is, yeah, what we need to do next is, let's, so what we have done first thing is we have initialized the git repo. We have initialized the git repo. So that is what we have done. Now what is the next thing I need to do? I need to add my files to the staging area. Yeah, I need to add my file to the staging area. How can I do that? So for doing that, the command is quite simple: git add. Okay, I clear this first. I say ls hyphen, see, these are multiple files I have. Let's say I want to add my index.html to the git repo. Sorry, for the staging area. So I will, the command is what? Git add index.html. Okay, git add index.html. And here I want to see what exactly is there. So I will also, to check my status, this is again very important. You say git status. So by default, your branch is master. We are going to talk about master branch in our next part, more about it. For now, here the branching is enabled, and your default branch is always what? The master branch. Yeah, your default branch is always what? The master branch. So what is the command you will fire first? Git add index.html. Yeah, we have got git add. So that way it will, okay. And then you do what? Git status. Okay, so what is the command you'll add? Git add index.html and git status. Yeah, git add index.html and git status. So that way you will be able to find that I have got, see, when I added index.html, so it is Now what it is saying, that there are no commits yet. Okay, what are the changes to be committed? So we have told them that I have staged my file, which is what, index.html, and what are the files which are still untracked? What are the files which are still untracked, which is main.js and style.css. So are you able to imagine this, how it is working considering this diagram? Currently, index.html is in the staging area. These are unverified, but the file is not also in the commit as of now. Okay, the file is not in commit as of now. Yeah. So I'll keep this. Please try this out quickly. Let me know in the chat box. Priyanshu, are you running your Git? If you do ls, are you able to see these files? If you do ls-la, are you able to see this file? And then you have to make sure that you have to run it from here straight away, because if you have downloaded the project folder, this should work for you. Git uses DSN. Yes, Git uses DSN version control. Yeah, because without it, it won't be possible, right? They have to maintain all the previous copies, everything there. Okay, once you have added this part, yeah, once you have added this part, next. Now, what if I this was now? Can you tell me how many files are committed right now? Is there anything in my commit history? Is there anything in my commit history right now? No. Is there anything in my staging area? Is there anything in my staging area? Yes. What is that? Index.html. And how many unversioned file do I have? I have two, main.js and style.css. So what should I do is, let's say, what if I want to add all the remaining files, or whatever files are unversioned, let me put it into my staging. So for that, I will say git add space dot. Dot means what? Take all the files, put it there. I press enter, and then I do git status again. So this time what it is saying, that no commits are done here. We are on branch master. There is no commits yet, but these are the files which are already staged. Yeah, these are the files which are already staged. Okay, can we do this quickly? Okay, perfect. Next, once you have added the comment here, like what we are trying to do here is perfect. Next is, we need to do what? We'll have to now make the commit. How do I make the commit? So for making the commit, the command is git commit. Okay, the command is git commit -m. That is my message, and let me say, I will say it is what, initial commit. Yeah. So whatever files are there in my current staging directory will get into a commit now. See, there were three files. This was my root commit. I have got initial commit. So what are the three files which are added there? That is my index, main, and style. Yeah, index, main, and style. So this way, these files are already committed. See, this is a part of my commit ID as well. Yeah, this is the part of my commit ID. And if I say git log, yeah, if I say git log, it will give me, yeah, it will give me, initially what I had here was the initial six characters of my commit ID. See, initial six character of my commit ID, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, it is seven element from my git ID. And as I said, the head changes, right? The head will change. So this is right now my first commit is what at my, okay, you are getting an error, authority identity unknown. You have missed on the step, Harkirat, I guess, for this part. You have to specify this two configurations, without which it will not allow you to make any commits. Okay, these two things are missing, Harkirat, for you. That will be the reason it is not working. Yes. Okay. So what is, how will you commit? You will say git commit hyphen m initial commit. Yeah, git commit hyphen m initial commit and git log. Git log will give you what now? See, this is the commit message. Then you have got, this is your commit ID. Now only how many commit we have made? Only one. So I have to restart the whole process now. No, no, no. You can just do it from here itself. Wherever you are, right, Harkirat, just copy paste this two settings. Only thing is just replace my name with your, my email address with your, run it here, and then do it again. It will happen. There will be no problem at all. Okay, perfect. So is the commit working for you, everyone? Is the commit part working for you? So what will you do here is git commit and git log. Okay, git commit and git log. I will add this also into that code share sheet. Okay, git commit, git log. So git log gives you a proper output, whether how your git log will work. Okay, how your git log will work. This is good. Next, what we have to do next? So when it comes to the commit message now, so there is another small part which I would like you to work upon, is for commit message. What are the best practices when it comes to commit? Yeah, what are the best practices when it comes to commit? Very small changes, don't commit. Not a good practice. Substantial changes, like you have started something, made some changes to 2 3 files, always better, put it up here. Then you are making a whole big module by all yourself. You are working for 2 3 days continuously, and then making a commit, there will be a big problem. Why? Because then you'll have to shift between these commits, and if you want to roll back to a previous commit version, it will be a problem. And commit often. So always make small commits. After you have done certain things, it is always better to write the commit very properly and give some meaningful commit message. Are you understanding this? This is good practices with commit. That don't do any small commits, very small, like made a very small change into a file. Don't do that. Right now in this workshop, for me, that is fine because I'm only dealing with three files. But when you are in a project, until unless you do not make a substantial change, do not go and make those commit changes. Okay, then very big changes are also avoided, not something which we recommend. Then commit often. After very small amount of time, keep off committing. That will help you to progress and keep the track very properly for yourself. Okay, perfect. Next is, so I have made this commit changes now. After my commit changes, let's make some changes in HTML. Okay, let us make some change in HTML and then come back here. So I do what? Start my Visual Studio Code here. Make sure you start your Visual Studio Code here. See your VS Code. This is my index.html. Whatever editor you are comfortable with, please go and add your application here. And here I write in my title, I will say code with z.com. Okay, just making some changes in my title. Yeah, just making some changes in my title. So this time, so I went into the file, made a change. I go back to my git bash, and I say, let me clear this first, all the previous things, and I say git status. Yeah? Git status. I did what? I opened my file. I opened my file, went there. Yeah, I opened my file. I went in my application, and then I made the changes. So what will I do next? So are you able to get this? Yeah. After you make the changes to index.html, what will happen next? Yeah, you have made the changes to index.html and then you did git status. Yeah, you did git status. So it is telling me that one file is modified. Yeah, one file is modified. So what will I do? I want to put this file into my staging area. I will say git add dot, and then I want to make a commit. So I'll say git commit hyphen m updated title in index file, index HTML file. Okay, you have to give some meaningful name. Yeah, you have to give some meaningful name. Okay, and then yes, so we have to make, yes, for a specific feature it's fine. Okay, there were previous question. Okay, Harkirat is done. Okay, that's good. So we have to make commit for a specific feature. Yeah, combined you can do that. Priyanshu, there might be a possibility you have missed upon adding up this part. Git init you must have not done. If you have not done git init, it will not allow you to do the adding and commit part. Okay, so what I've done here, I have made some changes to my index.html, and now if I see git log, what will happen? See, whatever, where has the head changed to? Head has changed to updated title. Now see, there are two commits which have happened for me. So what will you do? Make the changes in your index.html, add it into the staging area, commit the data, and then check the git log. So what you have done here is, see, after making changes to index.html. See, I did git add again, I did git commit, and I did git log, which is giving me my commit log as well. Yeah, which is giving me the commit log. So it is showing me that what is my current version now. So what is the latest update? The head is pointing to updated title in Git. Yeah, it is pointing to updated my title in Git. Okay, perfect. Priyanshu, yeah, Git init was missing, right? Okay, so you are able to see that there are multiple Git, and what we are being able to figure out, like what is my current file, and we are checking this file we have committed, and that is it. Now, does clearing affect any command? No, no, no. Clearing is just what you can say. It's a way to clear your command prompt. That's it. The way we do in Windows command prompt, like you know what we do here, CLS, right? The commands are there, previous commands will be there, it will not affect anything. Because what we are doing here right now, correct, this is a Linux terminal. So that is why in Linux terminal even your CLS should work here. No, it is not working because this is a bash shell. So if I do clear, it will just clear my console, but if I do up arrow, it will still give me all the commands which I fired. In fact, let us try for history. Yeah, history is also giving me what all commands I have fired. Yeah, that way you will be able to find out all the commands. In fact, that will be the very good thing. End of the session, I can just copy the history and paste it and give it to you. Okay, so so far so good, everyone. Okay, now consider what I want to do is I want to add a new file. I want to add a new HTML file. I go back to my VS Code and I create a file. Let me call it as profile.html, and so I create a simple HTML file. Let me call it as profile. And under this, I will just say h1 profile page. That's it. Nothing fancy here. I will keep this HTML on that file here. Okay. I have kept this profile.html. Someone have selected everything. Can you please release that? Just for ease of working, I have also posted the profile page in chat box. Yeah, they are in two parts. I have added this there, profile.html. Now, what will happen if I go and say git status? If I go and say git status, what will you find? That we have got profile.html here. Yeah, we have got profile.html. So, which is in unstaged. I say git add dot. Now, everything is where? In my staged area. So, everything is where? In my staged area. If you want to see the file which are in your staging area, okay, changes not staged for commit. So did you try to commit it straight away, Sanchit? That can be a possibility, rather than doing like once you add the file, just do git status. After you update the file, you need to do git add. Yeah, you need to do git add. So here what I'll do, git files, ls hyphen files. See, ls hyphen files shows you that what are the files in your staging area. Yeah, this particular command will show you what are the files in your staging area. Okay, so what we did here is we added the new file, and this particular command is used for checking the files in. Okay, can you re-explain the uploading? Yes, I'll do that. Okay. See, what we have done here is we added a used for checking files in staging area. Yeah, this is used for checking your files in staging area. So this is good. We have created git ls files. Now see, Harkirat, what I do is I had, for example, when you're working on a project, you will require to add a new file, right? Yes, this video will be there on my channel. Like this is a live video. Once I am done with the session, it will be automatically uploaded in some time. I will make sure to forward along the link for you all. Yeah. So what happens here is, let's say I create a new file. Let me call it as what you can say about us.html. Okay. So we have added a new file. That's a simple thing. And I create a basic HTML called as about us. And then in body, let me add like h1 about code with z. Okay. Now what will happen here is I go back, and so if I say git status, so it is telling me what it is telling, that there is a file called as about us which is not, see, in staging area there is one file which is not yet committed, and there is one untracked file. So what I do first, I do git add dot, which will put everything in staging area. So if you check, now I have got all the files in my staging area. What is the next step then? Commit. Git add, then commit. So you say git commit hyphen m, and here I say added profile and about us page. So this is committed, and now if I do git log, you will be able to see that there are three commits now: initial commit, updated title, and added profile and about us page. And which is the top commit here now? As per my commit history, which is my top commit? Which is my top commit? This one is my top commit as of now. Yeah, this one is my top commit as of now. Okay. Yeah. So can we try this out quickly, everyone? So you have not done git add, Harkirat. Mostly that is the situation, that you have not done git add. Okay. You must have missed upon git add. So if you do, Harkirat, if you do git status, is it showing you that there are certain changes here, changes to be committed file? Is that empty? If that is empty, means nothing is there to commit. If that is empty, means there is nothing to commit. So you have to take care of that part. Yeah, because there is nothing to commit, so you'll have to do what? Git add space dot first. If you have added a new file, whenever you add a new file to your working directory, the simple command is what? Git space add space dot. That means put my file into staging directory now. Yeah, that means put your file into staging directory first. Okay, I hope you are done with this one now. Added the new file. Now, one of the most important factor here is, whenever you are working with this sort of file, is there are certain log files, right? And you don't want those log files to go to your final repository, or you don't want to get it live. So consider, I have got a folder here. Okay, I have got a folder here, Let me do it with VS Code itself. So consider I have got a folder which is what logs, which is logs, and this contain some log.txt file. Okay, and in this log we have got some rubbish data, not rubbish data, basically some log data, and I don't want this log data to get pushed to the remote so that anyone can just open it and work. So at that time, what I will do, see the structure of my application sort of look like this now. And this folder, I don't want this folder to go to the final repo. I don't want this folder to be there in my final repo. What will I do for that? So for that reason, I will, in my root directory, wherever is my Git repo, at that place, I will create a new file and call it as dot git ignore. I will call it as what? Dot git ignore. What will be the name here? It is dot git ignore. And you know what file you don't want to pass ahead. So you will say logs slash. You have to give starting point of log slash, or you can also use regex here. Regex is what? Logs, asterisks, and more about that. So that is a different thing. But logs slash, okay, logs and slash. So this is my working directory, and I don't want this directory to jump like this. I don't want this directory to be committed. So now you know what will happen. There is a git ignore file. I have made the changes. Let me go to the git bash. If I say git status, see, it is saying that there is one file which will be there. So now what will be committed? This is untracked file. So I say git add space dot. See, because that file was there, git ignore, you can see that slash the logs folder is not considered. It's not that the folders are not considered. Consider, I do what? I make a change. I say new folder, images. And in my images, see, I have added a image folder. Let me call it as cwz.png. Okay. So I have got an images folder. That images folder is not in my git ignore. So yes. So as Sufyan is saying perfectly, git ignore is used to hide your private data files like API key, database IDs, and so on. Yes, perfect. So now if I say git add space dot, and now if I say git status, see, this time images.cwz.png is taken up there. That means if you add any file in git ignore, that file will be ignored as the name suggests. And then I do what? Git commit -m added images. Okay, added images. So this is done. And now see, there is one flag which you can apply, that is called as git log one line. So this will give you a very good commit history. It will say we have got initial commit, updated title in index, added profile, and added image, and this is my new head. Yeah, this is my new head. Okay, so can we quickly add the git ignore file here, everyone? This is my git ignore file, and these are now, are you getting the steps? Yeah, I hope steps are clear. Anytime you add a new file, what are the steps you go through? What are the steps you go through? You do git add, you do git add space dot, then you do git commit, and you provide a proper commit message to it. Is that making sense, everyone? Okay. Okay, can I go through the git ignore topic once? Okay. Consider, Soham, you have got a folder, the project you are working on, and it contains one folder here which contain your credentials. Okay. Now this is a very important part, right? For credentials, but can is it okay if there is a file here which contains all your passwords, and let's say password is abc at 123. Do you think so that let's say db password is this? Okay, then payment gateway password is xyz at 123. Now do you think so if I share this into a public repository someone will not misuse this? So I want to be very sure that certain things does not go like I don't want them to commit, I want them to be on my folder itself. Okay, if I need to share it with my collaborator I'll do it again, but that is a different thing. So now for that reason git has something called as git ignore. Git ignore does what? Now you have said I don't want to pass logs, you can also press enter and say that I have a folder called as credentials. Slash means this is the folder, and you are telling git what? That whenever you do the commit, do not consider this folder as a part of my project. Let it be there, but do not consider as a part of my project. So something which is not the part of the project will not be committed, right? So now see what happens if I do. Let's do clear here first. Now if I say git status, it is saying there is one file, yeah, and there is an untracked file. Okay, I made a mistake here. Credentials. Okay. So if you see, when I do git ignore, it is not considering any part of my credentials as a part of my untracked file. And now when I do git add space dot, and if I do git ls hyphen files, see that credentials folder is not even considered as a part of my git staging area. That same reason. Now let's say I do git commit hyphen m, and then I say uh, updated git commit, sorry, git config it was. Then I say git log hyphen hyphen one line. So this time it is telling me how many git commits have happened, and it is also showing me the output. Is this making sense, everyone? How it works? Yeah, how this part works. So we have added the git log. Also certain small things like if you make, like for example, just for updating part here I am making changes in my title again to show you something, to show some utility commands. One of the utility command is what? Git status hyphen s. So hyphen s will give you the shorthand operator. Shorthand operator is what? M is what? Unmodified. M is what? Modified. Okay. M is what? Modified. This file is modified. Then if you say I add a new file, new index file, let's say profile. Profile is already added. So let's say login.html. Okay. And I keep a simple body here. Then I go back. I say git status hyphen s. See, this time it is saying it is untracked. Yeah. Two question marks means what? It is untracked. M means what? It is modified. Then I want to add it to my let's say staging area, and then I do git status hyphen s, which is shorthand. So now it is saying this was a modified file, but if it is green, that means it is staged, and if it is red, that means it is unstaged. This is much better way to understand it, right? Yeah, this is much better way to understand it here. Also, yeah, so you don't need to practice this out right now. I am just showing you this. You can go back to the video and check this out later on. Now if you check, consider index.html. I want to add something in index.html. I want to add a division element with a paragraph which says Okay, let's say subscribe to my channel. So again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. And that is sort of a motivation I get when we create these videos. So next, now let's say there is index.html in staging and there is index.html in unstaged area. Yeah, that is my working directory. Both of the files, do they have any difference right now? Both of the file, do they have any difference in them right now? Yes, no. Both the files, do they have any difference as of right now? Yes. And what if I want to check? Yeah, what if I want to check the difference between those two? So for that time I will do what? Git difference. Yeah, what will I do? Git difference. So what it is saying, that this is my working directory area where the new data has been added, and if I want to see the difference of my staging file, I can just add hyphen hyphen staged. So it will tell, see, with both of them, this is what the title was looking like. This is what the title is in my staged area. That was the first difference. And here I have added the new one. So it is telling me what is difference in my staging and the other file. So if you want to see the differences in your staged, okay, Rohan, sorry for that. We'll have to adjust. Now I am on my uh, Wi-Fi network, but sorry for that. So here you can see it is showing me the difference in my files in my staging area and the working directory and the staging area. Yeah, and this one, so difference hyphen stage, it shows me the difference in my staging area and the repository. What is committed in the final one and what is there in my staging area. Are you understanding the difference? There are two commands. Git difference, it will give you the difference between working staging area and working directory and staging area. So it says in your working directory this is added and this is not in your staging. And if you add hyphen hyphen staged, it will tell you what is the difference between your working directory and the staging area and the repository. Okay, so these were certain files which we wanted to understand with. Now also I want to show you, if you all of you use VS Code, mostly you use VS Code, most of you use VS Code, right? Now what if I want to do my settings from VS Code itself? How can I do that? See this, I will show you with a brand new project as well. Okay, so I will come back here in a minute, but let me do what? Okay, let me go back to, okay, let me create the project, take the project again for myself. I deleted it earlier, so just download. Okay, uh, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, so I have got my downloads. See, what I do is I will go into my GitHub workshop folder and let's me call it as other project. Okay, I extract this. I extract this. If I go into my other project, let me also call this folder as other project. And now I open this project from VS Code. I open this project from VS Code. Okay. Now let's say why am I here? I want to show you how do you start from beginning in a VS Code project. So on the left hand side, can you see the source control? On the left hand side, can you see the source control? It will be different for you now because your project is already committed now. So here, if you click on source control, it will show you the source control. Is it showing you the history here? If you click on the left hand side source control, is it showing you the history here? All the things like this? Yes. But what if you're starting a brand new project and you want to use it from VS Code itself? So at that point, if you click here, it will ask you, do you want to initialize a repository? So you click this. Do you think so? What command it will run behind the pictures? It will run git init dot. So it says, I will do this. And now it is asking me, do you want to make the history? So I'll say initial commit for other project. Okay, I'm just giving the name by on some purpose. I say commit, yes, and if you see the commit has been done. So with VS Code, it becomes much more easier. Now, if I go back here in my other project, what is happening? The other project already have the Git repo, and if I check my Git bash and I do Git status and Git log hyphen hyphen one line, see, it is showing me the same commit message which I have added earlier. So that is good. So I am just showing you multiple ways like how you can do it in a project when you want to start from beginning. And now here, if you see, I have got git commit. Yeah. So I can, what are the changes I have made? I have made, let's say, changes to login. This is much more easier, right? But if you know what is going on behind the picture, this will become much more easier. So this has been committed. And if I go back, not this one, but in my actual log, if I go back here and I say, okay, here, if I say git log hyphen hyphen one line. Now, can you see this changes? Yeah, manual work is good, and do not get into Git without understanding it manually, because you will land up in the places where you do not have IDE support. For example, you join a company, they are purely Linux based, that to console one. So you do not get any UI there. You have to depend upon them. All the things will happen through your messages only here. Okay. So I was just showing you how can you do that using your VS Code as well, just as a part of your easiness. Okay. Then now see, all my changes to login. This was done using what? This was done using my Git. So I have added this up here. Next, I have, so this is where I make a commit history. Okay. Now I have one problem. Let's say I get into one problem. I have a question. Can you help me understand this now? See, what happens here is I have done all this code, but is all this code available on my machine? Right now, it is all available on my machine. I am happy. I was able to create a commit. I was able to work on the title. So I have multiple commits, which is giving me a good idea. And you know what? In the next session, I am also going to show you how you can jump on any of this commit and get retrieve the files. Okay, that is something we are going to do in part 2. But now, what will happen if this machine crashes right now? Yeah, what will happen if this machine crashes? What will happen in that case? All my code will be gone, right? Like committed, non-committed. If this hard disk crashes for me right now, the hard disk can, the data will be lost, all my efforts will be lost, correct? And we will reach a point what we normally call as single point of failure. Yeah, we'll go into a point called as single point of failure, where I am not able to retrieve any of my data, everything is gone. So this is the place where, as a hero, to save us, there are multiple web applications available. What are those? Most famous is GitHub, right? Most famous is GitHub. Then we have got a product called as Bitbucket, which comes from Atlassian. Then we have got GitLab. Then we have got AWS Code Commit. Then we have got Azure Repos. But the most famous right now in the market is what? GitHub. The most famous is GitHub as of now. And how do they come into our picture now? So what we have seen working directory, we have seen staging area, we have seen commit history. This is all on my local machine. This all is happening on my local machine. But how will it be much more easier, or how will it be much more safer for me if something get added in my current implementation? If something get added in my current implementation, which is looking like this now. Okay, so this is something you know, right? This is something you know. I have got my working directory, I do git add, goes to the staging area, then it goes into the commit history. Now what will happen is I have got a step. Now here what we need to do is we have got commit history. From this commit history, if I push my data or if I push my project to internet, so there it will be safe always. Do you think so? Do you think so? That will be always safe there? Yes, because internet, cloud, backups, everything works fine. It is much safer than my, yeah, it will be much safer than my local directory. So there is a high chance my local machine can get corrupt, or my laptop might get stolen. The worst case scenario happened with me. So my laptop might get stolen, and you know what? When the laptop gets stolen, the first thing that comes to my mind is not about, oh, I have lost my 60, 70,000 ka laptop. The first thing that comes to my mind is I have lost so much of my data, which is not something I was expecting. Are you getting this? This is something we'll have to figure out, and data is the new oil, so you cannot lose data. So for that reason, what will we do is we have GitHub. Okay, we have GitHub. What we'll do is we'll go to GitHub right now. There is a website called as github.com. What you can do, what you can do is, do you have an account on GitHub, or you can quickly create one? Can you do that? You can quickly create one account on GitHub. Yeah, just go to github.com, create your account quickly. Okay, so just in interest of time, what I will do is I will, do you want, are you creating the account? Can you help me, let me know, or should I proceed? I can show you the process, and then you can check in the video and complete it. Okay, apart from Sufyan, anyone else? Because he's, thank you for that, Sufyan, but yeah, how about others? Are you making the account? It will take you 5 minutes. So I'll do what? I will proceed with that one right now. Yeah. So what will you need to do now is create a new repository. Let's say Git and GitHub workshop September 2024 is what I create. Okay, is what I create. When I go to create a new repository, there was a button for creating a new repository. This is where I want to add this repo, and I say create the repository. This way it is telling me, see, the moment I do this, it is telling me that how do I create a repository. So I have created, I have made a spelling mistake, that's fine. Now I have a remote repository. Yeah, I have a remote repository. So here I am telling them that I want to create this repository here. So for that reason, see, there are two things. Do you want to create a new repository and send it to the command on the remote here? That's no. Or do you want to push an existing repository from your command line? Our case is the second one. I am going to talk in depth about remote Git in next session. For now, we are going to focus on this part. So I'll do what? I will say git remote add origin. Don't worry about these parts right now. I will talk about this. So you go to your git repo, you copy the first command, you paste the first command. What is that? Git remote add origin. So we are adding a branch of origin remote. Is I am telling them now I am adding a one more layer. I had working directory, I had staging area, I had commit history area. Now I want to add a remote area. So I want to add a remote and call it as what origin. That is what it is normally called as origin. Then you do what? This is your repository which you want to pass on to, and you say enter. Yeah, you say enter. So if you see, so it is telling you there is one git remote originally added for you. After you add that git remote, you want to specify the branch you want to add. So I'll say, but if you see the name of my branch is what master. Most of them have shifted to main. So I will say what git branch hyphen m main. Sorry. Okay. I changed my git log hyphen. Okay. See, this thing will do what? It will rename my branch. Yeah, it will rename my current branch to what? Main. And then I do what? Git push. Yeah, I want to push my main branch to my origin branch. So this way, I press enter. And now let's see what happens. It is passing on all my data. And if you see, it has passed, it is completed. If I am on my repository, I just do a refresh. You will see with all my commits, what you did here, see, changes to login, initial commit, everything is now on your git repo. And if you want to check this out, you can, I have posted the link in the chat window where your data is available on a git repo. Whatever we have been doing in the project, that is all available on your git repo. Able to get that? Perfect. Now, the biggest benefit when you work on this one, yeah, when you work in this sort of implementation, you know what is the biggest benefit you get? See, what we have, what are the steps to work with remote here? We create an account. These two are like one-time steps. Create an account, create a repository, and then we push or pull from the repository. Yeah. So, what are the benefits of working in remote? That we always have a backup. Now what will happen if my project goes off? If my project get goes off from here, is it still fine for me? Because I have a copy on github.com, right? I have a copy on github.com, so I always have a backup now. I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, and all my previous files are already there. So this part is something we are going to explore in the next part. Now I want to show you that how we, yeah, how do we work on this. Yeah, how do we work on this? So for example, is let's say you make some changes, you have pushed those changes, and you want to take a repo or clone this repo. See, they have also given you how do you do that. So here, okay, see, now let's say someone is working on a project with you. So the another big benefit here is what? Consider you're working in a collaboration. Now Indian, we there is a 12-hour shift between India time and US time. Now you are working here from the India location. Someone is working from US location. Now you make the push when they start their day, it's already your leaving time. You just have a quick call with them. Okay, these are the changes we do. They take a pull, and when they are done with their work, they push the data back. And now when you join the next day, that way a company benefits from having people in multiple time zones. Is this making sense? But for this thing to work properly, yeah, for this thing to work properly, so it is one source of truth, as well as you can get your project efficiency at a very big level. Do you agree on that? The project efficiency will go to the next level. The reason being, one project, multiple people are working and in different time zones. So someone, let's say 20 hours, someone is continuously working on the project. That is a good thing. Yeah. So that sort of brings us to this part here, and we have seen this part. So next session, whenever we are planning to do, mostly in next week somewhere, we will be doing the part two of this particular part, what we have been doing now. So we'll be doing Git branching, get more into the branches to show you how it secure it much more. Then I will try to cause some conflicts and how to do that, and then we'll add multiple people here. So I hope you had a good time understanding Git, the basics. I would like to give you the commands. So I will say history, and let us take those commands quickly. Okay. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and thank you. These are the commands which we have added. You can take a copy of this quickly. In fact, I will put this in the description box as well. Yeah, I will put this in the description box when the video gets up when the video get uploaded. Or you know what? The best practice we have already learned about Git. How about, see? I'll show you one simple thing here. Is I will add a new file here. Let me call it as readme.md file, and I will add up this here. Okay. Okay, so I should be adding readme.md, and I'll also show you how do you see we have added this file. So I'll say added readme. I'll commit, and if it is connected with your, see, if this is connected to your remote, you will be also able to pass on the data. You can sync the changes from here itself. So as you all have that Git repo ka link, I have pinned it into the chat as well. If you go back, refresh, see all these commands are landed up here. I will just format this later on, but the commands are here. So if you go to the same repo now and you add it here, perfect. You will have the whole implementation here. So that's it from the this session, all of you. I hope you all had a great time. Have a wonderful day ahead, and let's meet soon for the part two of this workshop. Thank you. Thank you so much, Arun sir, for the opportunity. Bye bye. Thank you.